We'll see you next week. Look out for those links. I'll be dropping in the chat shortly. Back to you, Rev.
Heavens to Betsy. I just realized I have not been recording. So I hope that everybody has like every moment that we just experienced forever in their minds. Okay. Thank you, Manny. And by the way, thank you, Lola and Trevor, for those readings to ground us in our mission and vision statement. Also, Lola is going to be making an announcement about something. So Lola.
Yes, hi again. On May 17th, we have a very important day. It's the International Day Against Homophobia, Transphobia, and Biphobia. And you can go to May 17, the number 17, MAY17.org. And there's stuff going on all over the world. And also in in my city, hopefully in a city near you. And that's where you can go to find out what you can do to be a part of this important day.
Thank you so much, Lola. And Lola, you did also post in our Roll Facebook group, right? So please, thank you for that. And if you would like, everyone, you can refer to Lola's post for more info about that. So thank you. So important. So that's tomorrow, FYI. Now let's do our shift that we sometimes do. Everybody ready? There we go. Okay. And why do we do that? I have no clue. No, we do that because we're getting ready for DECOSTER, because DECOSTER is going to bless us once again with his music. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about him before the next song. So here we go. So with a master's from the Manhattan School of Music, DECOSTER, in all caps, has performed to audiences in the States, the UK, and China, combining his mastery of the guitar with poignant, soul-searching lyrics that speak to audiences the world over. His performances have been met with critical acclaim and have led him to play with other well-known artists, such as violinist Deni Bonet from Carnegie Hall Concert Violinist, Grammy-winning percussionist Rich Kulsar from the Lucy Kalantari and the Jazz Cats, and singer-songwriter producer Fleza Doza, and I hope I'm saying that name right, from Brooklyn Native Studios, among others. So once again, let us welcome back to the mic, Paul DeCoster, also known as DECOSTER.
Hey guys, thanks so much for having me again. And tonight I'm going to do a song from my EP, Walking in the Sun. And this is called If I Didn't Care. And this is dedicated to all those that are undergoing a transformation of their own, and also transformation undergoing the world that we live in right now. If I didn't care what happened to you, if I didn't care what happened to you, if I didn't care what happened to you, I wouldn't be standing here bleeding my heart, trying to learn your ways so I can show you that I love you. If I weren't enchanted by the sound of your voice, if I weren't arrested by the sight of your gaze, if I weren't in lockstep to the beat of your spirit, I wouldn't be following you on both of my knees, atoning for all my sins so I can show you that I love you. If I didn't care what happened to you, if I didn't care what happened to you, if I didn't care what happened to you, I'd be standing here in my heart, trying to learn your ways, so I can show you that I love you.
Oh, everybody, let's give it up for DeCoster. However you do
You
that.
guys,
Thank you, Paul. Anything you want
thank you guys.
anything you would like to add quickly about that song?
Well, if I didn't care is reaching out to somebody who was at a low ebb in their life, and that could be for any number of reasons, for reasons that are systemic or for reasons that are personal. They're often intertwined, as we all know. And this is something I wanted to say for the purpose of transformation, which is, our theme tonight. And I figured that was an appropriate song because it's reaching out, helping someone into transformation.
Amen. It is. It is, Paul. Thank you so very much. Okay, and so now we are not necessarily going to pivot or shift. I would like you, if you need to, you can, of course. But as we always like to do, why do we do this? We breathe to come back to what we know. So I invite you to breathe, breathing in and exhaling out. This gets us very in touch with stillness and with our bodies. Brings things down, doesn't it? Doesn't it just break things very simply into what is? And so again, we breathe. And we remember to keep doing this in this next about 20 minutes or so. However long this portion goes on, we will see how spirit moves. And in fact, I want to really, let's go there, everyone. Let's really, let's push back the veil and recall and remember what Source is telling us. I'm going to say us, what God is, how God is guiding us, how love is being us, how love is being with us. It is the spirit of transformation that must be descending upon this. It isn't that we are in Zoom boxes, we are together in this. And so it is the spirit of transformation that we affirm right now. It is happening now. We don't seek it. It is happening now. That's what's going down now. We don't seek to commit to transformation. We don't hope for transformation. We transform now. And that is the end of the sermon. No, it's not. We'll stay here a little while longer. And in the spirit of transformation, I have to ask you, as we've been doing this lately, opening things up for you all to share if you feel called, I'm going to ask you something and be very honest, please. Is how many of you really love change? And I'm talking about the change. I'm talking about the change that it can be uncomfortable. Usually it is. Like I'm talking about the big changes, both personally and in the world. How many of you, from the most honest core place, really invite that kind of change? And you like it. So when you're ready, we'll sit Quaker style till someone speaks, and we will all be present to that person speaking. You can come off mute.
I have to speak to that right away. So yeah, I don't, but I gotta say, although I'm not super fond of change because, I've learned to love change. It's taken time for me, you know? It's not something I know is gonna be what I want, but it might be something I need. So I know that, that's what I feel, when it comes to, do you love it or not from an honest place, at least. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, I hear it. It's understandable. Others, how do you like that kind of change that may hurt even, but it changes something inside you so radically? How do you feel about that, really and truly?
I don't like change when it comes to things that I didn't like it when my tree fell. I don't like how my house looks now. I don't like that kind of change. But when it comes to things in the world that need to change, I love that.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Anybody else like to speak on this?
I'm not sure how I want to approach this exactly.
Mhm.
There's been a lot of change in my life always. And I do feel like I would be bored without that change. I like experiencing lifestyles that I've not known before. I just have this curiosity and discovered that I can meld into many different lifestyles and learn and understand from different perspectives that way. And yeah, I do like change. Now, I had a tree. I lost a Joshua tree in my front yard, and that still bothers me. That's not good change, but I embrace change.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Anybody else before we go further?
Change is something which I am not always easy with, but I understand that importance of it, and it's just I'm alive at this time when change seems like it's definitely on the horizon, and being alive at this time, well, that's a gamble I'm willing to take. Here I am. So it's important to understand change is something which can put everybody on an even keel and actually get us to talk to one another and see each other in a different light.
Mhm.
And that's pretty much what's needed right now. And I just don't like the idea of winners and losers. It's really that definitely needs to change. That when people undergo through change, whether losing something or gaining something, that it's seen in those terms. Because perhaps we're gaining something else that we're losing, or we're losing something that we're gaining. So that's something which I think is, when we're talking about change that we're talking about, I think those two words really have no place in the conversation, because that's the mindset we're trying to get to do away with. Am I right?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Paul. Is there someone else that would like to add or attack onto that has not spoken? It's not required, but I'd like to make space here.
Yeah, I'd like to speak with that. I actually, I do like change, but I like the kind of change that is transformational. I like the process and being able to see how people digest, how they process, how they talk about, how they are challenged by, how they are energized by change. So it's, for me, it's all of those things, and being able to engage people in that change process, I think, is what I really enjoy most, even if it is difficult or even if it is enlightening, that we're all going through that process together and can be, yeah, we can sort of feed off of each other in a way that helps one another. So,
Yeah. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you. Okay. So, I recall, I'd like to share a story before we go any further. And I also, I want to lift up what the theme is that we are really exploring, so we're clear. And that is the fourth sentence of the vision statement of the Revolution of Love, which you heard Trevor speak not that long ago. But that fourth sentence is, we transform through a heart and mind opening experience, semicolon, and we claim the divine responsibility and honor to be change agents in the world. Tonight, we will focus on the first part before the semicolon, and that is that we transform. We transform through a heart and mind opening experience. And we're going to talk, I don't know what that is when I do that. We're going to talk about the heart. Kidding aside, we're going to talk about the heart. And I sometimes don't like even saying that because it sounds so, it just sounds so simple and I don't know, just so wimpy and passive, for lack of words. That's just, and it's a heart opening experience is anything but those things. Recall now, family, recall when I went through the kind of love that we are talking about at the Revolution of Love. Remember how we broke it down. And we talked about what love often creates for people. What it often reminds people of is pain and sadness and trauma and wounds of years gone by or present, or the fear of more wounding. And so please stay with me that if someone says we transform through a heart opening experience, we'll leave it there. We won't go to the mind tonight. We transform through a heart opening experience. I believe on an existential level, there is going to be for many a resistance. If someone says, well, if it was that easy, my God, we would do it. We would all just simply zip and open our hearts. Now, some of you may be wired like that. Some of you may have very easy, accessible, available, strong, sturdy hearts, and you just love, 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 love. Now, some of you, however, may live from that place and you've gotten burned and you feel exhausted, you feel fatigued, something called for compassion fatigue even maybe, and you think, what's the point of living from a place of open heart anyway? What is the point of that? Still others of you may not reside in that camp, or the actually two different camps. You may reside in the camp of, I see like a person behind a wall and a wall and a wall, and maybe barbed wire and maybe a moat, and way back there. Very isolated and very an isolative experience of this life. So transforming through a heart opening experience, again, it can bring things up. That's natural. It would make sense that would create that feeling could be created, I should say. So how do we transform? And to be abundantly clear, why does it matter? Because when and if we do say yes to take the charge to transform, we will be that much more able and equipped to get out there and create the change and bring justice in the world. Bring peace and bring justice in the world. Bring equity in the world for everybody. Oh, I didn't tell you the story. I'm going to go to that right now. When I was working, no, pardon me, it was volunteer. There was a time where I used to go into USC County in Los Angeles, and I would lead panels of folks that were recovering alcoholics and addicts. And we would go in Sunday nights, I believe it was. And the folks that were in USC County, it was a tough place. There were like 2 security checkpoints just to get in. And you'd see a lot. And the people that were in the beds, the patients, they didn't have anyone. Mostly, you didn't see family or friends coming around. They were alone. They were at the end of their addiction oftentimes, and they would most likely or probably die. So we would go there, and in a way it was just to give them some peace, to give them some love, to give them some support. I remember one time I walked into a room with, there was a group of us, and I was very young at the time, and I meant well. And I said to this man that was really ailing, that was on the threshold, dying of, I believe, alcoholism. And I said, you're loved. You're loved. You're not alone. We love you. And I assumed wrongly that his reaction would be a reaction of receiving. And he went, it was as though like I put sandpaper on a wound. And I didn't fully understand it until sometime later. And I realized that not everybody can handle that. And it was heartbreaking for me. The more I started seeing that around, whether it was in my personal life or whether that was in the world, it was very tragic to see that. And then I thought, well, how do we change that? How do we change that? We do sort of, as Taylor X let us began tonight here, saying you matter, you're a big deal. We value you. I said that a couple of Sundays ago when we talked about embracing you where you are at, the second line of the vision statement, that we value you. All of these things are, yes, to nourish ourselves, our vessels, but there's more. And I don't know if I always say this, and this is important. As I prepared for this tonight, I realized this isn't to just feed all of you and feed us feel really good about ourselves. This is so we can get our shit together. Sorry, mom and dad, I don't like it when I swear, but to get our shit together so we really take up the charge and bring this justice that we always talk about, that this revolution of love was birthed into or by or through, to create the change, to be the change agents in the world. So we're not merely usurping and eating. And yes, it is good if you're getting nourished and you're getting nurtured here. Wonderful. And it is also, so you take that revolutionary stance and you remember exactly who you are and you remember why you are, that you may bring that joy, that love, that magnificence, that peace, that healing, that you fill in the blank into the world. This is what we mean tonight by the spirit of transformation. It is not solely about us and merely what we can receive. It is to get all of us up to that point where we can spring forth. I pray that you feel this. I pray that there is a real stirring in your souls as you hear this. I hope I'm getting it across. Feel free in the chat if it makes sense to you. We don't have time to be that person where it's like sandpaper, where we can't receive. And we don't have time to be so depleted either, where we can't bring that love, that high heart love, that truth into the world in a very bold way. We got to get it together. And I'm all about process, and I'm all about therapy, and I'm all about going through the childhood wounds and the family of origin, and I'm all about it. And the time is now, tonight. And that's why I said at the top, we don't seek to transform. We don't say, oh, well, maybe. Oh, well, I think so. No, we transform. Believe it. Believe it. Flushing it out a little more now. Let me flush it out a little bit more. Another way I believe, this is what hit me again as I prepped. Another way I believe, dig it, that I think it becomes easier to have a heart opening experience is to not look at it like you're just opening your heart. So for those of you that may be afraid of that kind of change, you know, that might have that fear of people, and maybe rightly so, or fear of new experiences, and maybe rightly so. It's not about unzip, open heart. No. It's about one's heart being available and accessible and ready. Having a heart, see, feel the flip now. Open heart instead to having a heart that is available, that is accessible, that is ready. And in the spirit of David and Margaret and their body prayer that they do with the Revolution of Love blessing, this is what I saw. A heart, instead of open for anything in the world to bombard you and hurt you, where you shut down again or where you feel exhausted. No, it's a heart that is available a heart that is accessible, a heart that is ready, a heart that is available. And you can do this with me, please. It's important to feel and to come back into our bodies. So when we say a heart that is available, it's you are connecting with your imago Dei, if you want to call it that, yourself, simply a heart that is available. And then switch, a heart that is accessible. This is moving now to people that you may meet, situations where you may need to move some energy, situations where you may just need to be more accessible. A heart that is accessible, a heart that is accessible. And then a heart, feel the shift and the fire in this now, a heart that is ready. And you can move that, maybe, I don't know, you can move that in different ways. If it play around with this. A heart that is available, a heart that is accessible, and a heart that is ready. This is so different than saying, I need to have an open heart, or I need to trust people more, or I need to, no, a heart coming back to what is true, coming back to love, coming back to your peace, coming back to awareness, coming back to presence. All of these things right there, bam. You're somewhere, it doesn't feel safe, it doesn't feel right, there's something amiss, there's something afoot. A heart that is available, a heart that is available. And then to be aware, to not be that sandpaper, oh, that kind of thing. No, you come into a place of accessibility, a heart that is accessible. The heart that is accessible. So that we may have hearts that are ready. This is the excitement when Margaret was talking about change and transformation. This is exciting. This is, I say it a lot, I know, where we need to go. And I believe if we merely just flip everything, flip it around, instead of going, oh, wow, I got to be so open. I mean, that's exhausting. Who the hell needs that anyway? Instead, we have a heart opening experience that includes this availability, that includes this accessibility, that includes this readiness. See that? That just feel this. This feels so birthright. This is what is afoot right now. This is what's going on right now. Even in the midst of all of this trauma and tragedy in the lands of Israel and Palestine, and all of this unrest and tumult, and right here, I don't want to negate anything that's going on, shootings, all of these different things. We must remember our availability and our access and our readiness and the choices that we have. How do we do this? There is still something that I feel I have to say around this, like, well, but how though? How can we really do this heart opening? How can we really transform this heart opening? And this is where I don't know what else to say to you, but then to say, look, what you believe in, you're going to need. Because there will come times in your life where no one and no thing is going to be able to go with you. There's going to be some moment, you've had it, I know you have, at maybe 3 a.m. where there is no one to call. And this is where I'm an eclectic, but I am a theist. Fill in the blank. This is where God's calling. This is where God comes in. however you believe in a higher power, a higher self, a highest love, Goddess, Allah, Buddha, Shiva, Vishnu, however, Jehovah, Shekinah, however you call it and however you believe in it, you are going to need it. There has come a time in your life, and someone may be going through that time right now, and let's actually hold the space. If that person is you, and we lift up right now in prayer. Ooh. And we say that even in the dark night of the soul, that there is a glimmer, and that there is a transformation that awaits you and that awaits us. It will help you, and it will help us if we cling to source. It will help us if we strive for spirit. It will help us if we remember God with all its names, as we say here. It will help us in the process of being available, hearts accessible, and hearts ready. Do not be afraid. Do your best. These are incredible times that we are living in and living through. And we're not alone. You are not alone. We are powerful, transformational beings. We are designed to transform. This is the blessing for you tonight, for us tonight. And I invite you and I invite us to receive this holy, 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 holy. And so it is. And the people said, Amen, 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 Ashe. Yes. And so now I will ask you to turn your attention to the chat. And that, yes, that is, if you have prayer requests, please write them in the chat. And I get to pray for you through words, but I ask everyone here to lift prayers up on your end. And remember that we are in this sacredness and this sacred place, and we do this together. We do this together. And so, Holy One, we come before you anew, and we come before you with new vision, and we come ready for the transformation. We come to you transformed, saying that this is all there is to know about. A prayer of ease and a prayer of peace upon each and every person that has gathered here, that they may have an absolute restorative elements that are moving on all fronts for them right now, and that they feel very safe and very included and very loved and very valued. Yes, and in this place that they feel excited. May we all feel excited to get out there, to be the change agents. Yes. I'm going to turn my attention to the chat now to see what has been happening with these prayer requests. Okay. A prayer from Lola, a prayer for safe passage. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yes. A prayer that we are moved towards the power of high frequency change. Yes. Yes. We lift it up. And on behalf of David and Margaret, woo, we pray for, yes, a safe passage. I'm sorry, I couldn't contain my excitement that David and Margaret are coming to California for our trip to California to see their kids. So yes, absolutely a safe journey, traveling mercies upon you both. And then on behalf of Judy, to be with the daddy Robin, who is now alone, raising his 3 babies in a nest in the eaves of her front porch, as Mama Robin died 2 days ago. Oh, the blessed winged, blessed winged. So yes, we lift up that the family, the wingeds. We know that they are so close to spirit. And on behalf of Robert Gross, a prayer request for another prayer request for someone traveling, for Danny and Donna. So traveling mercies also for Danny and Donna as they are going exactly where they are supposed to go. And then on behalf of Manny, remembering those who are no longer with us, whether they were people we were close to or people that we've never met, sending hope and love to those families and friends, carrying on their legacy. Yes, Manny? Yes. So prayers up for those folks on the other side of the veil. Absolutely. And then on behalf of Evie, for a friend embarking on an enterprise to prepare a group home situation for recovering men who's asked me to participate in this endeavor. So someone that has asked Evie to participate in a new endeavor. Yes. Okay. And on behalf of Taylor X. Taylor is okay. Good luck with work, Taylor. We lift you up as you are working, a blessing for you. And also for Taylor X's continued healing. That needs to continue flowing in. So more and more prayer requests, please, for Taylor X. He doesn't always ask for things, so we do that for him. And on behalf of Peggy, a prayer for all who loved her friend Victoria, who recently passed to the great spiritual web beyond this one. And so, yes, we lift up Victoria's family. We lift you up, Peggy, all the folks that knew her, and knowing that her spirit is soaring and affirming that right now, and the love for her. Absolutely. I want to make sure I did not miss any prayers. Let's hold just for one more moment to see. Okay, we will turn within and close up this portion of prayer, knowing that we can always continue prayers for one another and prayers together. I'd like to lift up actually a prayer for Felicia, who has been attending. I know that her situation, searching for transportation and also a place to live, has been challenging. So let's lift her up as she has been part of our congregation. Let us also lift up a prayer for the unhoused, for folks that are experiencing homelessness, but we will not lose sight of them, that we will do what it takes to bring justice for them as well. I'd like to pray for different congregations from various faith backgrounds, and also those folks that are really doing organizing work that may be tired, lifting up clergy, lifting up organizers, and lifting up those activists. And again, lifting up the folks in Israel, Palestine. And if you notice, I did say the folks, so I am including everyone There is so much death and violence and strife. And so we lift up a prayer, and we ask you, Great Spirit, for ways that we must be most faithful, that we must be most effective, and to move on that when those answers come. First, for safekeeping for all rural congregants as they go through their week. And even if someone is brand new tonight, prayers for safekeeping, prayers for grace, prayers for mercy, as they again move through their coming moments this evening, and prayers for all of these beautiful ones to have good sleeps, to have blessed dreams, and to know their incredible importance in a way that is good for them. May we have hearts, God, that are available and accessible and ready. May we have these hearts, and may we bring them into the world in a change-making way that it just eradicates and abolishes all that is not of you and your love. That is it. That is it. And so in your holy name, we say, and so it is. Amen, Amin, Ashe, and Aho. Release the word out. And I invite Paul DECOSTER to bless us another time.
Hi, everybody. It took me a little while to unmute. I was working on a song with a theme of transformation, and that song isn't ready yet, but I'm going to read the lyrics for it, and I'm going to lead into a song, lead into another song, so just bear with me. So the ones that I will cite for you right now are from a future song, which I'll play at another time, called Turning into a Butterfly. You were all wrapped up in the cocoon you spun, well protected, cut off from everyone, until the day you felt a twitch, like instinct turned on a switch. Soon enough, you began to see, you looked and acted differently. Turning into a butterfly, you're in flight and you're not sure why. Got a good feeling you can't deny. You can't go back to where you were before, with the future promising much more. Wasn't long ago, your life was one big crawl. Your movement was too slow to get far at all. You began to build a shell, you constructed it so well. You thought you'd live out your days there, but a shift inside made you aware you were turning into a butterfly. You're in flight and you're not sure why. Got a good feeling you can't deny. You can't go back to where you were before, the future promising so much more. Everybody's got a shadow, follows them around. I pretend not to notice, but I wonder why I'm down. I see your horizon, just flying that way. I could be on that flight if it didn't get in the way. Albatross, you're the boss. Albatross, I've got nothing to say to you. High imagination, flights of fantasy. Ideas bottled up inside, I can't convert to energy. I can't blame circumstance, it's convenient after all. If you want to take a chance, can't be ready for the trust. You're the boss of the trust. I've got nothing to say. on yourself. Listen to other people talking. Your head is filled with what they say. Your thoughts are still in your own calling. Which line is it anyway? Do you really have to ask? You don't live your life and you're up to the test of the trust. You're the boss of the trust. You're the boss of the trust. You're the boss of the trust. I've got nothing to say to you. I've got nothing to say to you. I've got nothing to say to you.
That's the first song I ever heard from you, Paul.
Yeah, I thought I'd whip it out tonight.
There it was. We enjoyed it, right, everybody?
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yay. Thank you. That's fun. Thank you, Reverend.
Thank you so much. Love to you. Love to Raquel. Many blessings to, you're in Brooklyn? Yeah. Yeah.
And
Many,
as a matter of fact, yep.
okay.
Hope
Well,
to be out in LA and in the West Coast one day.
so everybody hear that? Soon. And so you can catch Paul when he's out in LA if you're in LA too. So thank
If I
you
can give a
so
plug. I'm
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt. I give
No.
a plug. Yeah. Now, if you guys are anywhere near a computer tomorrow, I'm going to be played on a college radio station at Muhlenberg College in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And you can get access to the broadcast at www.muhlenberg.edu.wmuh. I'll write that in the chat for all of you guys. And a guy by the name of John's Unclassics is the name of the DJ. He's going to play a couple of the songs, including Albatross, at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's a bit early for all y'all, but you know, if you happen to be by a computer at that time, please do tune in. I'll give you all the information in the chat.
beautiful. And Paul, please do share this information in our Facebook group, the Revolution of the Facebook group. That might be helpful. You could even share the, I don't know if there's a way to, but you could share it, you know, the recording right to our Facebook group. So thank you everyone for saying yes to roll tonight, for making this happen. And please take good care of yourself. As I said in the prayer, be good to yourselves, reach out to one another if you need, even if you don't, reach out. Let's really begin to create community creatively, like I always say. So feel free to come off of mute. And thank you to the worship team. Yes, to all the people that were praying on the wall, praying this up. So very important. It's a really important part of this. And feel free to come off of mute and say your goodbyes.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Nice to meet
Great
you.
service.
Good night.
Bye, David and Mark.